Let me tell you a story, not one of those quiet, peaceful ones. No. This one has spice, and the kind of trouble that makes you shake your head and say, "Oh, is this not too much?" Now, in a lively town where everybody knew everybody's business before it even happened, there lived a young couple, Connor and Sod. Their love story. Sweet. Their wedding. Beautiful. Their future. Promising. But there was just one small, very big problem. Connor's mother. Mama Tola. Now don't get it twisted, Mama Tola was not loud. She was not the type to shout or fight in the open. In fact, if you met her outside, you would greet her twice. Respectfully. "Good morning, Ma." Because she carried herself like a calm river. But my dear, even a calm river can drown a careless swimmer. From the very first day Sod entered that house as a bride, Mama Tola smiled. Oh, she smiled well. "My daughter, welcome," she said, holding Sod's hands warmly. Sod's heart melted immediately. "Thank you, Mama," she replied, glowing with happiness. Or if only she knew. Because that smile? It was not love. It was strategy. At first, everything looked normal. Sod woke up early, swept the compound, cooked, greeted properly, even knelt when serving food. The kind of wife every mother-in-law should proudly show off. But Mama Tola. She was not impressed. Not even a little. "You woke up by this time?" she asked one morning. Sod blinked. "But Mama, it's 5 a.m. Mama Tola adjusted her wrapper slowly. "In my time, we woke up before the cock crowed." Oh. Sod nodded. Noted. Next day. She woke up earlier. But somehow, it was still not enough. "This stew is too oily. This rice is too soft. You are sweeping like someone who is tired of life." At first, Sod laughed it off. Maybe Mama is just trying to correct me, she thought. But days turned into weeks, and weeks into something else. Because the corrections never stopped. And the funny thing, no matter what Sod did, it was always wrong. Now here's where it gets interesting. Mama Tola didn't just talk to Sod. Oh no. She also had a special microphone, direct connection to her son. One evening, as Connor relaxed after work, Mama Tola sat beside him. "My son," she said gently. Connor looked up. "Yes, Mama." "She is trying," Mama Tola continued slowly, "but I don't think she understands marriage yet." Connor frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" Mama Tola sighed. "You will understand with time." And just like that, she stood up and left. Oh. She didn't say much. But she said enough. Because that night, Connor started watching Sod differently. Not with full suspicion. But not with full trust either. Sod noticed it immediately. Women always do. "Is everything okay?" she asked him one night. Connor forced a smile. Of course. But his eyes? His eyes had already changed. And that's how it starts. Not with shouting. Not with fighting. Just small distance. One afternoon, something happened. Something small, but powerful. Sod was outside, laughing with a neighbor who had come to greet her. Just normal talk. Nothing serious. Mama Tola stood by the window. Watching. Quietly. Carefully. Later that evening, she called Connor again. "I don't like what I saw today," she said. Connor sat up. "What happened?" Mama Tola shook her head. "Maybe I am old-fashioned, but a married woman should not be too free with men." Connor's face changed instantly. "What man?" "I don't know him," she replied quickly. But they were laughing like they had known each other for years. Silence. Thick silence. Then she added softly, "Just be careful, my son." And she walked away, leaving her words behind like smoke that refused to clear. That night, Sod greeted her husband with a smile. But Connor didn't respond the same way. "Where were you this afternoon?" he asked suddenly. Sod paused. "Outside. Our neighbor came to greet." "Which neighbor?" She frowned. "The one that just moved in." Connor nodded slowly. Too slowly. And just like that, trust took its first real hit. From that day, things changed faster. Connor became quieter, shorter, colder. And Mama Tola. She became softer, kinder, sweeter. "My daughter, have you eaten?" she would ask in front of others. But once they were alone, "Be careful," she would whisper. "You are losing your husband without knowing." Sada's heart would race every time. "What do you mean, Mama?" But Mama Tola would just smile. That same calm, dangerous smile. Soon, Sod stopped feeling at home in her own home. She walked carefully, spoke carefully, even laughed carefully. Because everything she did now felt like a test she was already failing. One night, she couldn't take it anymore. "Connor, please," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "Talk to me. What is going on?" Connor looked at her for a long moment. Then he said something that broke her. "I don't know who you really are anymore." "Oh. That one." It entered deep. Because Sod herself didn't know what she had done wrong. And somewhere in that same house, Mama Tola sat quietly on her bed, counting her beads slowly, smiling to herself. Because little by little, without raising her voice, without lifting a hand, she was breaking a marriage. And nobody could prove it. Sod didn't sleep that night. She lay beside her husband, eyes open, staring into the darkness, replaying his words again and again. "I don't know who you really are anymore." Oh. How does someone prove who they are when they don't even know what crime they are being accused of? Morning came, but peace did not follow it. Sod still woke up early. Still cooked. Still tried. Because some people fight for their home even when the home is quietly rejecting them. But now, every move she made felt washed, measured, judged. And she was not wrong. Because Mama Tola had moved to the next level. That afternoon, Mama Tola entered the kitchen slowly while Sod was cooking. She didn't say anything at first. She just stood there, looking. You know that kind of looking that makes you uncomfortable without knowing why. Yes. That one. Then she spoke. "My daughter," she said calmly, "do you have somewhere you go every day?" Sod turned, confused. "No, Mama. I'm always at home." Mama Tola nodded slowly. Silence. Then she added, almost like an afterthought. "Because people have been talking." Sada's heart dropped. "Talking? About what?" Mama Tola shrugged. "You know how this area is. People see things, and they talk." "See what, Mama?" Sod asked, her voice shaking now. But Mama Tola had already turned to leave. "Just be careful," she said. Again. Always that same line. Just be careful. By evening, Sod was no longer herself. She moved like someone carrying something heavy inside. When Connor came back, she tried to act normal. But he didn't even give her the chance. "I heard something today," he said immediately. "Oh." Sada's chest tightened. "What did you hear?" Connor hesitated. Then said it. "That you've been moving around with a man." Silence. Complete silence. If you dropped a pin, even the walls would hear it. Sod stared at him. "Connor, what?" But his face was serious. Not joking. Not playing. Serious. I asked you a question, he said. Sod let out a shaky breath. I have done nothing wrong. Connor looked away. And that was worse than anger. Because anger means emotion. But that was doubt settling comfortably. From that day, Peace packed its bags and left that house. Arguments became normal. Small things turned into big fights. And the worst part? Mama Tola was always just nearby. Never in the middle. But never far. Like a shadow. One evening, something happened that changed everything. Sod had gone to the market to buy foodstuff. On her way back, a young man helped her carry her heavy bag across the road. Just simple kindness. Nothing more. But guess who saw it? Mama Tola. Of course. She didn't call Sod. She didn't shout. She didn't even react. She just watched. That night, she sat with Connor again. My son, she began softly, I don't like what is happening. Connor sighed. Not again, Mama. But she continued. I saw her today. With my own eyes. Connor froze. So what? Mama Tola shook her head slowly, like someone disappointed. She was smiling, holding hands with a man. That was it. Finished. No evidence. No explanation. Just words. But words can be more dangerous than knives. That night, Connor didn't talk. He didn't shout. He didn't ask questions. He just went silent. And my dear, when a man goes silent like that, something has already broken. Sod noticed immediately. Connor, she called softly. No response. She moved closer. What is it? Connor stood up slowly. Don't touch me. Oh. That one hit like thunder. What did I do? She asked, her voice breaking now. Connor turned, anger finally showing. You should be the one telling me that. Tears filled Soda's eyes. I don't understand. Enough, he snapped. I'm tired of pretending like I don't see what is going on. That night, Sod cried. Not small tears. Not quiet tears. The kind that come from confusion, not guilt. Because she was innocent. But innocence means nothing when someone else is controlling the story. And in her room, Mama Tola lay down peacefully, closed her eyes, and slept well. Very well. Because now, her son no longer trusted his wife. And once trust is gone, love starts looking for the door. But the story is not done. Because what Mama Tola does next, even the walls of that house will not forgive her. Sod became quieter after that night. Not because she had accepted anything, but because she was tired. Tired of explaining what she did not do. Tired of defending a name that was already being stained. Even her laughter changed. It no longer came freely. It came with caution, or not at all. And Connor. He had fully withdrawn. No more random conversations. No more checking on her. No more, how was your day? Just silence. Cold, heavy silence. But Mama Tola. She was not done. Not even close. Because when someone is determined to scatter something, they don't stop halfway. They finish the work. One afternoon, when Sod was alone in the house, Mama Tola walked into her room quietly. No noise. No warning. She looked around carefully. Then she saw it. Soda's phone. On the bed. Unlocked. As if it was waiting. Mama Tola picked it up slowly. Scrolled. Paused. Smiled. Then, She did something that would change everything. She opened the messaging app, typed a number, and sent a message. I miss you. When will I see you again? She stared at it for a second, then placed the phone back exactly where she found it, and walked out like nothing happened. That evening, Sod returned, tired as usual. She picked up her phone, glanced at a few notifications, and dropped it again. She didn't even notice. Not yet. But later that night, Connor noticed. He was sitting beside her when her phone lit up. A reply. From that unknown number. Soon. I've been thinking about you too. Connor's heart stopped for a second. Then started beating faster. Harder. Louder. Sod was in the kitchen. Unaware. Connor picked up the phone slowly. Read the message again. And again. His chest tightened. His hands clenched. By the time Sod walked back into the room, everything had already changed. Who is this? Connor asked quietly, holding up the phone. Sod frowned. What? He showed her. She took the phone. Read the message. And froze. I don't know this number, she said immediately. Connor laughed. A short, painful laugh. You don't know? No, she insisted, panic rising now. I've never seen this before. Connor shook his head slowly. Sod, please don't lie to me. Her eyes filled with tears. I am not lying. The argument that followed. Oh. It was not small. Voices raised. Words thrown. Pain exposed. I have done nothing wrong. Sod cried. Then explain this. Connor shouted back. I can't, she screamed. Because I didn't send it. And just like that, everything collapsed. Not slowly. Not gently. But all at once. That night, Connor left the room. Slept in the sitting room. Far from her. Far from the woman he no longer recognized. And Sod. She sat on the floor. Crying. Not just from pain. But from helplessness. Because this time, even she had no explanation. Behind her door, Mama Tola stood quietly in the hallway. Listen. Every shout. Every cry. Every broken word. And slowly, she smiled. Days passed. But things did not get better. They got worse. Connor stopped eating her food. Stopped talking to her completely. Even the way he looked at her. It changed. Like she was someone else. Someone he didn't trust. Then one morning, he said it. I think you should leave this house. Silence. Sod stared at him like she didn't hear well. What? Connor didn't raise his voice. But his words were firm. I can't live like this anymore. That was the moment. The moment everything almost ended. And in the background, Mama Tola sat quietly. Calm. Peaceful. Like someone who had just finished a long, successful job. But what she didn't know was this. Truth has a strange habit. You can bury it. Hide it. Even twist it. But one day, it will stand up. By itself. The house had gone cold. Not the kind of cold from weather. The kind that lives in people's hearts. Sod had packed a small bag. Not everything. Just enough to live with dignity. Because deep down, she was still hoping. Hoping that maybe, just maybe, Connor would stop her. Say something. Ask one more question. But he didn't. He just stood there. Silent. Watching. Is this really what you want? Sod asked softly, her voice already tired. Connor didn't look at her. I need peace, he said. Oh. Peace. Funny word. Because sometimes people destroy their own peace and still go looking for it outside. Sod nodded slowly. Tears sat in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not this time. She carried her bag, walked to the door, opened it, then paused. Just for a second. Maybe waiting for something. Anything. But nothing came. So she stepped out. And left. Inside the house. Mama Tola adjusted her wrapper and sat down comfortably. Like someone whose work was complete. My son will be fine, she said quietly to herself. But life was already preparing something else. 2 days later, something small happened. Very small. The kind of thing people ignore. But this one carried truth inside it. Mama Tola's phone rang. She picked it up casually. Hello. The male voice responded. Madam, I'm sorry. Oh. I think I made a mistake. She frowned. What mistake? The number you gave me, the woman is not replying again. Mama Tola froze. What are you talking about? The message now. I sent what you told me to send. But she hasn't replied again. Silence. Heavy silence. At that exact moment, Connor was standing behind the door. He had just returned home quietly. And heard everything. Every word. Clear. Sharp. Undeniable. Mama Tola's voice dropped. Don't ever call this number again, she whispered quickly and hung up. Slowly. Very slowly. She turned around. And saw him. Connor. Standing there. Eyes fixed on her. Not angry. Not shouting. Just looking. Mama, he said quietly. That one word. It carried everything. Confusion. Pain. Realization. Mama Tola tried to speak. But for the first time, words failed her. I can explain. Explain what? Connor asked. Still calm. Too calm. And that was when it hit him. Everything. The whispers. The be careful. The stories. The doubt. The message. All of it. Not from Sod. From his own mother. He staggered back slightly. Like the truth had physical weight. You did this, he asked. Mama Tola stepped forward. My son, I was only trying to protect you. From what? He snapped suddenly. That was the first time his voice rose. From my own wife. Or from your own jealousy. Silence. The kind that exposes everything. You never wanted her, Connor said slowly. You never gave her a chance. Mama Tola shook her head. I raised you alone. I suffered for you. And now you want to abandon me because of a woman. Connor's face hardened. No, Mama, he said quietly. I am losing my wife because of you. And for the first time, Mama Tola realized something. This was not going the way she planned. Connor didn't argue again. Didn't shout. Didn't insult her. He just picked up his keys. And walked out. Because now, there was only one place he needed to go. Sod was sitting quietly in her friend's house when she heard the knock. She wasn't expecting anyone. She opened the door slowly. And there he was. Connor. For a moment. They just looked at each other. No words. Just everything that had happened, sitting between them. I know the truth, he said finally. Her brows tightened. What truth? My mother, he paused. She did everything. Silence. Sod didn't speak. Didn't react immediately. Because sometimes, when pain is too deep, even truth feels late. I'm sorry, Connor said. Simple words. But heavy. Very heavy. Sod let out a slow breath. Tears filled her eyes again. But this time, they were different. Not confusion. Not helplessness. Just release. I begged you to believe me, she said quietly. Connor nodded. I know. And you didn't. Another nod. I know. Silence again. I don't know if I can go back, she said honestly. And that was the real consequence. Because some damage, even truth cannot erase immediately. Connor didn't argue. Didn't beg loudly. He just said one thing. I will fix it, if you give me the chance. And somewhere, back in that house, Mama Tola sat alone. No victory. No peace. Just silence. The same silence she created. Now sitting with her. Because in the end, she didn't just try to take another woman's place. She almost lost her son completely. And that is the thing about wickedness. It doesn't end where you plan it. It grows. It spreads. And one day, it turns around. And faces you.